Hey everybody, I'm putting this one up because John from Arkansas asked me to. So before I started doing videos, this was probably the first radio that I restored. And it's an Atwater Kent Model 44. And the reason why I did this one was when I was scouring the internet, I found John's videos on a Model 37 he was restoring. And I thought that was cool. So when I was searching for one on eBay, I couldn't find a 37, but I found a 44. And this is it. So this is probably 2 years ago, maybe 3. I actually found the video when I was working on this. It's 4 years ago actually, and this is the first time the radio ever played. You notice I'm using a different speaker when I was testing it because I have another one of these speakers. It's a smaller one. I think it's a Type L. This is a Type E, and you can see the radio is just laying apart on top of the desk. And this is the first time it played. You see that transformer just laying around there, and wires all over the place. So a little bit of history. Very cool. Alright, that's what she looks like. And she still works 4 years later. Let's hope for another 50 or 60, right? That I did this, but this thing was completely rusted. The inside was completely rusted as well. It was a mouse house and whatever house it was. And, you know, we've got it restored. I'll show you what the inside looks like. I also restored this Type E speaker. And John had a video on that as well about how you get that voice coil off. There was a lot of tips in that video, and I've restored the speaker as well. So let me pop the top open. We'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll listen to it. First thing I'll show you is the top, and you can see I've got that familiar gold. You're seeing that in the one that I'm doing now, the 67. And there's that Atwater Kent logo, which I've cleaned and put a coat of lacquer on it. So let me get the cover removed. Okay, so here's the inside, and you can see there's plenty of room in here. It's like, you know, working on a car from 1950s. Plenty of room in the engine. This is the power supply, which, as any of you that worked on these can tell you, is the biggest pain in the ass because you have to go digging in tar here to get the capacitors out. And I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. I've actually had to rebuild the capacitor board, and I did that inside here. That's your rectifier tube right there. There's your major resistor. You'll see down here, there's our plate, Atwater Kent Model 44. There's our serial number. And you can see that it's in real good shape. It wasn't like that when I got it. This is where the speakers connect, right here, on these two push pins. And over here, you have a ground and an antenna. And I do have my antenna connected. So let's power it up and see what happens. Takes a while for this thing to warm up.
Because they were able to make it so that people understood what they were saying. And furthermore, it is clear that their declaration of the Lordship of Christ was not only public, but it was dramatic. You know what I mean?
I do, and I lived in Queens for 3 years in Whitestone.
Found out really works. Which was easy.
It's a no-brainer, really. This came from her, really.
Patrick.
NFL insider Adam Schefter's with
Anyway.
Jacksonville Jaguars. Tom Coughlin comes out with this statement. Where do you think this is headed?
They're going to be exploring
It's amazing how that speaker
with them
sounds.
being one of the most, if not the most disappointing team in football, starting at our quarterback position. They'll start there and they'll branch out, and I would expect.
Okay, I'm going to power it down. It's amazing how this thing still works, isn't it? But it's really, really cool. Speaker sounds really, really good. The radio itself performs really well. I haven't turned it on in about 3 years. And I remember when I did this one, if you can see right down there, there's a copper band right here. I also have that on the Model 67 I'm working on. And to get this thing removed, cleaned, and realigned is not simple because all these tuning capacitors move at the same time when you tune. See that? They all move together. How cool is that? And I had to make a lot of components here that that you couldn't find. There were some wire wound resistors here that I've replaced with common resistors and put them in heat shrink. There's a capacitor in there. There's the grid stop resistor. That was made out of glass originally, I believe. So let me pop the top on this thing and then we'll see what's in there. I don't even remember. Be right back. Okay, there's our transformer, and you can see that I rewired this entire bundle of wires here that go underneath the chassis. Every wire was bad. It was stiff, they were cracked. So I had to, back then I used these little labels for everything. I wasn't really good at reading schematics, but this is how I did it. I rewired everything, and right down in here is that capacitor can I was telling you about. You can't see it because there's a cover on it. But what I did was I took a PCB board and mounted all the required capacitors, put it down in there. I encased that box with cardboard, and here's the tar and the transformer. We didn't have to touch that, thankfully, but that's what we did. So this again was one of my first projects before I was doing YouTube videos, and you can see we've got a nice radio here. So this is what I'm hoping the 67 looks like when I give it back to my friend that I'm doing it for. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this little tour, and we'll take a quick look at the speaker here. This again, the Model E speaker, and if you look around the back, it's got baffles. I put some gold material there. Originally there was some type of burlap there, and that's what it looks like. There's a little tag down there. Probably get in there, look at that. Alright, so there you have it. No more chop chop. One other thing I'll show you is these speakers use these pins to connect. That's very interesting, unique design. I think other companies copied that, or maybe Atwater Kent copied it, I don't know. But the speaker wire has been redone, and we're good. Alright folks, have a good day.